$7, $97, $997. There are all kinds of prices, mostly ending in 7, for digital products and courses and memberships. And how the heck do you know what to price your digital product? Well, I'm going to be going over all of that in this episode, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with low ticket offers. And a low ticket offer I would classify as an offer that is $97 and below. Actually, pause. Before we get into all of that, let's talk about the 7 thing, okay? There was an article that I found talking about the psychology behind pricing your offer that with a number that ends in 7. So 797, 197, 997. Honestly, now I'm wondering if it's getting played out because everyone's digital product ends in 7, right? I'm seeing maybe a shift, and I don't have like data to back this up. This is just like anecdotal, what I have seen from various sellers, a shift to non-7 prices. So I would say if you are asking yourself, why is everyone's pricing ending in 7? Maybe try something that doesn't end in 7. I feel like ending in 9 is a little played out. That was like the 90s telemarketer, get this for $9.99 thing. So I don't love ending in 9 either. So maybe try ending in like 2 or 4 or 6. I don't know. 5 seems a little... And this is literally, none of this is evidence-based, so take all of this with a grain of salt. But I just wanted to kind of say, like, you don't have to end in 7. It's just what was kind of the norm for so long with digital products. And there was some psychological evidence behind that, but I don't feel like you have to choose the 7. So I am probably still going to say all of the numbers in this episode ending in 7 because that is what I'm used to. But just know that you don't have to end in 7. Okay, so let's talk about low ticket offers. So $100 or less, right? 97-ish or less. And those would be things like, PDF playbooks or ebooks, templates, mini courses, spreadsheets or calculators, those kinds of things. So how do you know what to price your low ticket digital product? Well, there are no set rules for this. And I know that can be frustrating, okay? But I have found some kind of general guidelines that I have used to price my digital products, and so I'm just going to share those with you today. So definitely look around at what other people are charging. Within your niche, if you can find other people that are selling something similar, it doesn't have to be exact, but something kind of similar, what are they charging, and can you tell that they are successful? Because you may find someone that's charging a certain amount, but you don't know if they are actually selling that thing or not. So maybe if you can find someone that you know they are successful, then that can be kind of a good starting spot, okay? It also kind of depends on your niche. So I'm going to kind of list out some bullet points here. Bullet point number 1, look around at people in your niche and see what they're charging. That doesn't mean you have to charge the same thing, but you don't want to price it well above that unless there is reason to, like you're offering group coaching or something, which in that case it wouldn't really be a low ticket offer anymore anyway. But way above that or way below that, because then you are undervaluing your amazing digital product, and people can smell that. Like they can smell the weird low price. Like if you have something amazing for $7 and most other people's are $97, they're, instead of thinking, oh wow, this is such a great deal at $7, which is what you might, assume that they are thinking, they're probably actually thinking, this is fishy. Why is this $7? So is it like really crappy? I don't understand. So just be careful with that. And I see this a lot with teachers. I don't know if it's because teachers have a good heart and we're just givers and we are expected to give so much away for free, so much of our time away for free. Like we work outside of our business hours for free. We don't get paid extra, and it's just expected of us that they way underprice. I actually had a coaching client on a few weeks ago, and a wonderful, wonderful course that she had created, and she had way underpriced it. And I was like, no, you're giving such a wonderful transformation. Think about what you're offering these people and the transformation they're going to get from your mini course. It's worth so much more than, I think she was charging $10. And I'm not speaking badly about her. I know it's a teacher thing. Teachers just are used to giving things away for cheap or for free. So don't underprice it. Don't overprice it. Also, think about your niche. So certain niches typically can charge a little bit more than other niches. And I like to call those kind of need niches and want niches. Need niches are typically things to do with money or business, making an income, resume writing, getting a job, anything to do with earning money, because that's a need. You have to have money to survive in this world. It could also be things to do with health. So healing from an autoimmune disease or, losing weight, building muscle. I'm struggling to think of health related topics right now, but anything related to your health, that's a need. You need health to live. If you're not healthy, then you're on the road to not living, right? So that is a need. And then the other kind of category would be relationships. So I see parenting courses. Sometimes you can charge a little bit more for that, but also we'll talk about your audience in a second. Courses about maybe not getting divorced or life after divorce or dating. Those typically I see can be on a higher end versus courses that are more about maybe hobbies or wants like painting or crocheting or sports types things, traveling. All of those are more wants than needs. So if you can twist your niche to be one of those need categories, that's even better. So maybe you have some type of hobby and you've earned some money from that, like you crochet and you make blankets and you sell them. Then maybe you could twist your niche to talk about, yes, here's how to crochet, and then also here's how to sell your crocheted goods for money. So anyway, that's kind of a sidetrack there, but those niches can typically charge a little bit more on the higher end, closer to 97, than the ones that are more wants. So those would be lower. All right, now audience. Think about who is going to be buying this. Is it someone who has disposable income, or is it someone that might be struggling with income? Now, if the transformation is good enough, then people are going to figure it out. They're going to figure out how to pay for it if they want it enough. But just keep your audience in mind. Now, I know you're thinking, this is all so generic, and how do I know what my specific product is going to be? It's just so hard to give specific rules, and it's so nuanced. There are so many different things that could influence your price. So here's kind of where I would start. I would start on the lower end when you launch your digital product for the first time, and I would use that as an incentive for people to buy. And I would say, here is the price. This is the last time you're going to see this price. It's going to be this price for this amount of time, and then the price is going to go up. And if you don't know how much it's going to go up, just tell them the price is going to go up. Typically, when I launch something, I like to launch it for around 50% off because that's enough to get people's attention. And I will say it's going to be 50% off for this amount of time, and then it's going to bump up to the full price. I actually did that with my Hey Digital Product Playbook, which actually goes over pricing and goes over how to create and sell low ticket offers like I'm talking about here. So because it was a really in-depth playbook, it's $100, and it also has videos. I would still consider it a low ticket offer, but maybe on the upper end. So I launched it for $97, and the full price was $197. Now I know that's not exactly half, but I was keeping with the sevens there because that's what everybody else is doing, right? And that worked really well. I had a 5-figure launch from that incentive of the price is going to double or more than double after this set amount of time. So you can launch it for kind of like half off. But if you don't know how much you're going to raise it, like let's say you're going to launch this thing for $17, then maybe you sell them like hotcakes and you're thinking, okay, well, I could probably sell this for a lot more than $17. Maybe I want to sell it for $77. You can just say it's discounted and then the price is going to go up. I wouldn't raise it too much, but you can kind of test that. I always like to say you can start lower and then raise it. It's harder to start higher and then lower it, but it's not impossible. So if you have already launched a low ticket offer and it didn't sell very well and you're certain it's the price, it's not always the price. It's not typically the price. It's typically messaging. But if you've worked with like a coach and like the messaging is great, everything is great, the sales page is great, but everyone is just saying it's too expensive, You can lower it, it's possible, but it's just not recommended, because if people did buy it at higher price, they might get upset, rightfully so. But you're not going to make everybody happy, so I'm not saying it's impossible. That's why I always recommend starting at the lower end and then going up. You can also add bonuses that justify the price. So anything that makes that low ticket offer easier to consume. So if you're making a mini course, have printables that go along with it, or templates or spreadsheets that go along with it. If you're doing a PDF guide, have videos that go with it. Make it very desirable, very easy to consume, quick to consume, and that will definitely justify the price. So let me just give you some kind of specific examples of what I have sold. So last summer I started a new business from scratch, and it was really I would not say it was in a need niche. It was talking about gluten-free eating, and I did talk about health, but I wasn't really saying that you can gain health from this, because I am not an expert in health. So I made this gluten-free guide about gluten-free clean snacks, and I sold it for $14, and it did well. I sold the first one within 3 weeks of starting to advertise it, so I felt really good about that, because that was my play business that I was experimenting. I didn't continue on with that business, so I can't tell you any data beyond that. But I feel like I probably could have raised the price a little bit, maybe to $17. But because it was just a guide, there wasn't any bonuses really. I was just getting it out there as fast as possible. I think $14 was a good price. And I just realized I didn't do that one at $17. Maybe I was already seeing the trend towards not 7 ending prices. But I think if I kept on with that business, and maybe I'd added other things, added bonuses, I could have gone up to 17, even 27 maybe. Another thing to think about is if you're going to be sending people directly to the sales page for that thing, then you want the price to be an easy yes. If I was selling a gluten-free guide for $97, I would need to include a lot more, or better be eat this way to be the healthiest you've ever been, a really good transformation. And that's not what I was promising. So again, I know that's not the most structured pricing advice, but those are just kind of some general guidelines. Oh, and I already said I sold my Hey Digital Product Playbook for $97. I've sold templates for $27, for $37. Those did really well. Those were templates for teachers. While we're talking about teachers, let's talk about teachers pay teachers items for a second. So educational resources, because they are a little bit different. They are a low ticket offer, but they are going to be priced a lot lower typically. So for teachers pay teachers, and I probably need to make a whole separate episode, but just quickly to go over, I typically charge $3 for activities, so task cards, scavenger hunts. I've actually started offering printable and digital together in the same price for $3. I used to do them separately, but I noticed my digital products weren't selling as well, because I think the need for digital products has gone down. It hasn't gone away completely, so I think having that additional option is just a better selling point. So I didn't combine them and then up the price. I combined them and kept the price the same, because I think what will happen, I don't have data for this yet, but I'm assuming what's going to happen is a teacher's going to see my task cards and then someone else's task cards for around $3. That's typically what I see. And they will choose my task cards because they also have the digital option if they ever need that. So one thing that I try to always say when you're pricing is, yes, make sure that you are charging based on the value of the product, but also don't be greedy. Don't overcharge. Don't be greedy. That's never a good way to be successful in business. You want to serve people well and meet people where they are as far as financially. Okay, another thing about TPT is if you can get that price up to $3, that's going to prevent you from paying. There's a little transaction fee if the cart is less than $3. So having $1 and $2 resources, if you can bump those up, maybe add differentiated versions or multiple versions to get the price up to $3, I do recommend that. I still have things in my store that are $1, so I don't always follow that advice, but most of my things are $3 and more. For my notes and worksheets sets, I have high school math, so it is a lot of work for me to make the graphs and the graphics and make sure that all the numbers make sense. I feel like it takes a little bit longer than maybe an elementary note set would take. So I charge 50 cents per page. And that has served me really well. My notes and worksheets are my best sellers by far. And then you can bundle things together. You can bundle units, you can bundle whole curriculums, you can bundle activity packs to get those higher ticket offers. So again, I'll probably make a whole another episode about TPT specifically, but that is a low ticket offer, so I wanted to touch on that. Okay, and then let's say that you are doing a course. Courses typically, I would say, start at $197 and go up. If it's at a 97 mark, I would still consider that like a mini course. So $197 and up, all the way up to, I mean, I've seen like $2K, $3K for really big transformations and with lots of testimonials and lots of touch points. I have charged $997 for a course. I have charged $397 for a course. And I feel like it really depends on the data and using the data to make changes. So let me just start with my course, The Resource Academy. Back in 2020, when I launched it, I had my first like actual launch. I believe I charged $197, and then I have since raised it 2 times. I raised it to $297, and then now it's $397. And then I also offer a payment plan with that. Payment plans are great. Just a note on payment plans. I was offering a 12-month payment plan option. It worked well, but it's a lot of headache because I get emails saying, oh, I want to cancel my subscription. But it's not a subscription, it's a payment plan that they can't cancel. So I've actually removed that 12-month payment plan, and now I do a 3-month payment plan of $147 for 3 months, and that is working fine. So that course is a need course. I am teaching teachers how to create teacher resources and then how to sell them and make money. So teachers can see when I buy this, I can make my money back and then a lot more. So $397, even though I'm selling to teachers who typically have, lower salary, unfortunately, they can see the ROI, the return on their investment with that. So again, if you are a needs-based course, health, money, relationships, then typically you can charge higher. Now, I feel like parenting courses are kind of all over the place, and I only know that because I research a lot about parenting courses. I have purchased a lot of parenting courses, and I would say that falls in the need, the relationship kind of space. And I know I have a lot of moms who are probably making courses about parenting, mom, homeschool, so I wanted to touch on that. So I have purchased, I purchased a picky eater course. I believe that was $197. I purchased an eczema course, and I actually paid $997 for that, but that included Voxer access to the creator, which is like a voice messaging thing, for 3 months, and an hour coaching call with her. So if you want to get to that higher price, you can add those touch points if you would like. It's kind of a balance between how much time do you have and how much money do you want to make. If you have extra time and maybe this is your full-time job and you want to do coaching, you want to do Voxer access, then definitely charge accordingly. Do not give group coaching and then charge $37, okay? If you're going to do group coaching or one-on-one coaching, you need to be charging at least $500 or more because that is your time and you are worth more. And I always say it's not really about your worth because you're not a monetary value, but your time is valuable, so charge accordingly. If you are not offering that and it's just like a self-paced course, then typically you're going to see on the lower end less than $500. The one kind of caveat to that is courses about making money. So starting a business, or like my husband has invested in real estate courses, those are probably usually $997 or more because they can really see the ROI on that. Because if you're going to invest in real estate, you're going to get a big return on that, hopefully, if you do it correctly. So the courses are going to be priced accordingly. The $197 to $297 range, I would say, are more want courses. Now, another thing I have kind of noticed is, and this is like a trend I've seen, is bigger courses are kind of phasing out for want niches, and they're more going towards the lower ticket offers. So if you have a want niche, not a need niche, think about, could you do a low ticket offer? And then you can always upsell that into a higher ticket coaching program or course or whatever. But people just aren't spending, a lot of money now on wants, on hobbies, because everyone's back to work. They were working really well in 2020. Now everyone's back to work. They're not getting extra government assistance like they were in 2020. Some people, I know not all people got that, but something to think about. But I am still seeing need-based courses, health, wealth, relationships, are doing really well. Okay. I did want to touch on memberships. I am not a membership expert by any means, but I have seen a couple of trends with memberships. The first one is low ticket memberships. So like $7 a month, $9 a month, where they are, I was actually in one. I was in a Facebook ad, $7 a month membership. She had like a portal where you logged in and you could like kind of see her process. It wasn't super in depth, like the videos weren't super in depth, but it gave me the result that she was promising. But then she also had weekly Facebook question and answers. And that was a lot, I think, for $7. But then she was upselling people into working with her in her agency one-on-one. So it's obviously working. She's been doing that for a while. So those low ticket, memberships, if you can do that and offer a lot of value and then maybe upsell into a coaching program or something like that, or a high ticket course, that might be an option. Or you can kind of charge the typical, $15 to $30 a month if the low ticket thing isn't something that you want to do. I've even seen up to like $97 or $197 a month, but those are almost always related to business or money. So that's something to think about. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you have gained some insight on pricing. You can always shoot me a DM on Instagram. I love chatting back and forth with you. I don't do coaching on Instagram. Actually, I'm not offering one-on-one coaching at all right now, but if you just have a quick question or you want to run your price by me, I would love to send you a quick voice memo back and give you a bit of advice. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.